You know, the way we all write software, it's about to get a massive overhaul. In this explainer, we are diving deep into what the future of development looks like by putting the top AI coding agents of 2026 head to head.
See, your command line, your terminal, that's the new battleground for AI. It's the place where code gets written, where bugs get totally squashed, and where entire apps are managed. And right now, there are three huge players fighting for control over your entire workflow.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's meet the titans of the terminal. Each one of them brings a totally unique approach to the table, and they're really designed to solve very different kinds of problems.
Kicking things off, we have OpenAI's Codex, which is running on the GPT 5.2 model. The best way to think of Codex is like that senior engineer on your team, the one you go to when you have to hunt down those really subtle, tricky logic errors. Its main strength is generating what you might call zero-fix code that's production-safe right out of the box, especially for complex back-end and database stuff.
Then there's Anthropic's Claude code. Now, if Codex is your senior engineer, Claude is the lead architect. Its superpower is understanding the big picture. We're talking large-scale refactoring, navigating entire code bases all on its own, and just making sure every single piece of a new feature fits together perfectly.
And rounding out our big three is Google's Gemini CLI. Gemini is all about two things: speed and scale. It's got this absolutely huge context window, and the output is just lightning fast. That makes it the perfect tool for whipping up prototypes and tackling data-heavy tasks. Oh, and its free tier is super generous, which makes it really easy for anyone to get started.
Okay, so we've met the players. Now let's put them side by side and really dig into the raw data. This is where the differences between them really start to stand out.
So this table pretty much lays it all out. And what's really interesting here is how their pricing and their ecosystem kind of double down on their main strengths, right? Codex is part of that easy-to-get plus subscription, making it a no-brainer for debugging. Claude's higher price tag totally reflects its focus on being an architect for big proprietary systems. And Gemini, with its deep integration into Google Cloud and that awesome free tier, is just built for fast, scalable prototyping.
So just based on that first look, I'm really curious, which one of these is already jumping out at you for the kind of stuff you build? Drop a comment below and let us know what you're thinking. Or hey, if you have any questions so far, ask away.
Okay, enough with the spec sheets. Let's see how these things actually perform in the wild. We're going to throw three super common, real-world developer tasks at these agents and see who cracks under pressure.
So first up, we've got a really common but pretty tough request: building a brand new feature that has to touch everything from the database all the way to what the user sees on the screen. This is a huge test of how well an agent can understand a big, complex project.
And here's the prompt we give it. This is a tricky one, right? It's not just write me a script. It has to understand how a database schema, a backend API, and a front-end table are all connected. That takes some serious architectural awareness.
And wow, the winner here is just crystal clear. It's Claude Code. It didn't just navigate the whole repo and make smart edits across a bunch of files, but here's the absolute game changer. It autonomously ran the project's tests, saw the errors, and then it fixed its own code. That's not just a tool, that's a genuine project architect.
All right, for our next test, we're going to switch gears completely. We're moving away from maintaining a big project, and instead, we're going to try to create something totally new and creative from just a single high-level idea. So yeah, the prompt is pretty ambitious, and honestly, a lot of fun. We're not asking for a simple utility here. We're basically saying, be creative, build a whole game engine. This is a test of pure creative power, and whether it can spit out a polished result that just works.
In this arena, ChatGPT Codex is the undisputed champ. It just consistently churns out a functional, bug-free script that actually runs right away. It seems to have a real talent for complex UI and things that need to look good, turning a simple idea into a working prototype in a single go.
Okay, last test. And this one's a classic panic situation. Something is broken in production, and you've got to dig through a giant mountain of logs to figure out what's wrong.
So the real test here is all about context and raw data processing. Can the agent even handle a 500 megabyte text file without just giving up? And then if it can it find the needle in that giant haystack?
And this is where Gemini CLI's killer feature just blows the competition away. That massive context window. It slurped up the entire log file in one shot, something the others, well, they just can't do.
Then it gave a perfect summary of what it found, and even suggested the exact terminal commands to start fixing the problem. When it comes to big data, Gemini is just in a whole other league.
So that's how they stack up today. But what's really exciting is where this is all going. Anthropic in particular is pushing things forward with a new concept that turns Claude Code from just an assistant into a whole team coordinator.
They're calling it the subagent. So what is it? Basically, think of it like this. A subagent is a clone of Claude that you give one very specific job, like be the security auditor or be the test writer. It works on its own, so it doesn't clutter up your main chat, and then it just reports its findings back when it's done.
So imagine this workflow, like a documentation pipeline. The main Claude agent acts like a project manager. It spawns subagent A and says, go review the code. Once that's done, it wakes up subagent B to write the documentation, and finally, it kicks off subagent C to check the style. It's a completely automated, parallel workflow, all run by AI. It's pretty incredible.
So, after all that, which one of these AI agents should you actually be using in your terminal in 2026? Well, like with any powerful tool, the real answer is, it depends on what you're actually trying to build.
You're going to want to choose Codex if what you really need is precision. If you're working in a big, complicated existing project and you just need a super reliable partner for debugging and making sure your back-end logic is absolutely rock solid, Codex is your co-pilot.
You should probably go with Claude Code if you think like an architect. When you're building huge, new, complex features inside a massive repository, and you need every single piece to fit together just right, Claude's ability to see that entire big picture is just priceless. And last but not least, you should definitely pick Gemini CLI if your job demands speed and scale. For whipping up quick prototypes, digging through huge log files, automating shell scripts, or honestly, if you just need a really powerful free tool to get going, Gemini is the obvious winner.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this simple truth. The best tool isn't the one with the flashiest features. It's the one that actually helps you ship your code. Look, I really hope this deep dive helped you get a clearer picture of this new world of AI coding agents. If you found it valuable, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers on the tech that's shaping all of our features. Thanks so much for watching.